if you don't have some kind of nest egg, like I'll tell you, do I have a plan B? But I got a plan C, D, E, F. I'm a serial entrepreneur because the fear of going back to working for somebody is bigger than the fear of work. A lot of the resources that I've had or found came from other people telling me about them. The business jargon for it is human capital. Yeah. Your social capital is very important. Yeah. If you're good to people, people are good to you. They share information. What you do with the information is up to you after that.
I mean, I go by the philosophy, each one teach one.
Yeah.
Right? It's not what you know, it's who you know. Because they said, if you're not around the table, you are on the menu.
That's good.
And you want to be around the table.
I got it booming. Stats going up, we all going dumb, not stupid. Trying to keep up with me, I told them all that it's foolish. Breakdown is muted. I had to do it myself, damn, now it's all booming.
Hey, what's up, good people? Welcome to season 1 of City Entrepreneur Virginia Beach in partnership with the Virginia Beach Uplift program. On this show, we highlight real stories of entrepreneurs, founders, and builders shaping underdog cities, uncovering what it truly takes to launch, grow, and scale a business. Whether you're an entrepreneur or just someone who wants to learn about entrepreneurship, we have founders who can give you different aspects of entrepreneurship. My next guest today is a serial entrepreneur out of Virginia Beach. He is famously known as the owner of the Snoball Shop. Please let me make welcome the one and only Mr. Ryan Turner. How you doing, boss?
I'm good, brother. How you feeling?
Doing good, man. You're looking dapper, man.
I gotta keep up.
You keep. No, I'm on my sweater. I'm just chilling. You out here. You showing out.
Man, don't
You
do
showing
that,
out.
brother. I'm
You
trying to
showing
be
out.
like you, man.
How you living? How you feeling?
I'm good, brother. How you feeling, man?
Garrett, man, great to have you on the show. For those who don't know who Ryan is, just give us a little bit of background of how you got to where you are today.
My name is Ryan Turner. I went to Norfolk State University. I'm from Norfolk, Virginia. I graduated with my degree in mass comm. I had a minor in music technology. And this whole thing, everything started from music. My first company is a music production company. And essentially I was working because music doesn't bring in steady income. And until I understood how to bring in steady income from music, I was working at a large telecommunications company. And from there, I watched people get fired and I realized, oh, someone can take my income away like that. So from there, I looked into opening up a business and I looked at a few different franchises that didn't go the way that I thought they would. And voila, this is how we got to the Snoball Shop.
Okay, so when you say a few franchises that didn't go the way you thought, how many are we talking about? And what are those? Give us a little bit of example. Give us a little bit more detail on that.
I actually looked at opening up a 7-Eleven, and the franchise model wasn't one that I thought was conducive to what I was doing. And then I looked at Subways, and I found out that it just wasn't a good fit for me. Mm-hmm. And I eventually landed at a Snoball chain. And from there, there were some legal discrepancies with our paperwork. And we were able to nullify anything that we signed, and we were able to leave and become the Snoball Shop in 2017. So we started in 2015, okay, but we became the Snoball Shop in 2017.
Okay, so tell me this. So the Snoball Shop, so is it a franchise or you own outright own it?
I own the Snoball Shop outright, and we are going to begin franchising here within the next few years. We're going to look at the economy and how things work out first before we start involving families.
So tell me this then, how did you get to deciding I want to do the Snoball Shop? Like, how did you know like this is going to work out or it's not going to work? How did you get to that point where you're like, this is it?
It definitely was not me. It was 100% not me. And at the time, there were a lot of different factors that led up to it. And we ended up landing on a Snoball Shop. Like the numbers did what they were supposed to do. As far as what we were looking for, it was a small franchise. It was family owned. We were able to talk to the owner of the franchise, which was really big for me to feel comfortable. You can't go talk to the guy that owns 7-Eleven. You can't go talk to the guy that owns Subway, but I could talk to the person that owned this particular franchise. And, that and a 5-figure check later, And no lie, man, and there's a lot of God, you know what I mean? A lot of God, a lot of universe. We were looking for a location, and the location that we're in right now is the one that we've been in for the last going on 11 years.
Wow. 11 years in business.
11 years.
Wow. Okay, so when you say we, who are we? Is that your business partner?
I always say we because I don't believe the Snowball Shop is just me, right? I have a staff that continuously turns over, and I feel like it's always been a joint. It's always been something that wasn't me per se.
Right.
You know what I mean?
The team effort is joint partnership, and everyone who works there is, is a team.
Right. Like for me, it was a big part of it was actually the mother of my children, right? A lot of it, she was a very, very huge part of it, of how that whole chain or that whole thing began, right? And with that, it was, I don't want to say it was a no-brainer. It was a lot of thoughts. You never put together a business plan. You never put together a budget, personal financial statement. When you go to the bank for money, they want your blood. They want to know everything about you. What'd you spend money on last month?
Yeah.
Or what'd you spend money on this time last year as well? Do you always have a couple of dollars, or is this brand new to you? You know what I mean? Where does it come from? Is it legal? All of these things are happening simultaneously. They're all new. And it's
a process to get to the point where you say yes.
Yeah.
So tell me this, the big question, why Virginia Beach? Of all places, why Virginia Beach? Why here?
So being from Norfolk, I looked around Norfolk first. However, when I moved from Norfolk to Virginia Beach, that was, the first time I ever had an apartment was in Virginia Beach. Mm-hmm. And then I bought my first house in Virginia Beach. And then I bought my second house in Virginia Beach. And I was in love with the area. You know what I mean? Like, I always want to contribute to the community that I'm in, mm-hmm. as well as the community that I'm of, right? It just so happened that the first opportunity to contribute happened to be in the community that I was in. And that's, it's a blessing, being in the Green Run community like we are, we have been able to donate over 500 backpacks to schools in the area. And I mean, hand deliver to Rosemont Elementary, to Lynn Haven Elementary, to other Title I schools in the area. Wow. We've donated over 100 coats with a good amount of my friends. They saw what I was doing, and I'm talking about, I had boxes of coats arriving at my house through the mail. Not even all my local friends. Mm-hmm. I had friends that were out of state willing to help. And we delivered those to Norfolk Public Schools because, like I said, I want to be of service to the community that I'm in, but also to the community that I'm of.
Right.
So the coats, we reached out to a friend of mine that is a teacher, and we asked her to find out, what kids and what sizes, what kids have you seen walking around without a coat?
So why do that though? Because I know a lot of business people just want to make money. Why go back and reinvest in the community? Why was that important for you to do that?
For me, kids don't have a choice, right? You and I, we have a choice. We can go work or we cannot go work. We can make some money, we cannot make some money. We have a choice. Kids are born into the situations that they are born into. They might be born with a silver spoon, they might be born without. However, whatever they're born into is what they're born into. And a lot of adults or parents will say, kids adapt. Kids adapt. Adapting to being cold isn't something you need to adapt to. You know what I'm saying?
That's tough.
You know what I mean? It's 37 degrees outside right now. No, you shouldn't have to adapt to being cold. We live in Virginia. We don't live in, North Dakota where it's freezing all the time and that's normal. Mm-hmm. No, you shouldn't have to adapt to that. If, your parents don't have the means or whatever the case may be where you have to go to school without supplies or a backpack, how are you supposed to learn? And I believe personally that we need smart children.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
Because when we get old, somebody, you know what I mean?
They're the future.
Yeah. So if we don't take care of the kids, who's gonna take care of us? You know
right.
what I mean?
It's only the right foundation. How's that gonna happen?
Exactly.
And I hear you say you bought 1 house, 2 houses. So are you like Rick Ross, like a vacation home? You bought this, or
No,
how'd that come about?
I was always interested in real estate, but I didn't understand how to do it. So instead of getting an apartment, I was actually looking to buy a house. And what I did not understand at the time is that one mortgage lender's word is not law. So I was actually working for Sprint when they were around. And I left Sprint and I went to AT&T because the money was better. Same position, just better money.
Yeah.
I had one mortgage lender tell me that because I switched companies, even though it was the same role with more money, I no longer qualified for a loan. The quiet part was with that company. I could have taken that same application and went to 30 or 40 other mortgage lenders and potentially found someone that would say, oh, okay, it's the same industry. It's the same job, it's just a different company with more money. Yeah, we can give you a loan. And listening to the singular lender that I did, I set myself back 2 years. I ended up going to get an apartment instead of buying a property. So I always say, there were a few, I don't want to call them missteps, but there were a few learning lessons
learned
I took on,
yeah,
early on.
So let me ask you this, because I know you are a part of the Uplift program.
Yes.
So what drove you to apply to the program? Why was that important for you at your stage in business? After like 11 years or 10 years in business, what was that important for you to do that?
You can never stop learning. You know what I mean? Like, even if you think you're an expert at something, right now you could put me in front of a shaver and I'm gonna shave you a snowball. I'm gonna do a great job, right? But if you put me in front of a shaver I've never been in front of, it's gonna be a learning curve. If I'm not willing to learn, that means I'm not willing to adapt. If I'm not willing to adapt, I'm going to eventually go away.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
That's right.
So going into the Uplift program was important because I learned a lot, even though, people are like, oh, you've been in business at the time. I think I've been in business for 9 years. Oh, well, you've been in business so long. You don't need, yes, I do. No, you don't need to go learn anything else. I do.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? And I actually did learn a good amount. I learned that my business plan should be ever changing. I had no idea I should be updating it. No, I wasn't updating it. I learned more about investing my money in the market, and I learned more about creating revenue streams with the revenue I had.
That's right.
And there were things that I knew, right, that I learned, but I never connected the dots, right? Mexican restaurants are one of the highest grossing restaurants because they use the same ingredients for everything on the menu, right? It then clicked that, oh, I can use the things I have to make even more things than we've made and expand our menu while not expanding our overhead. Now we're using things that we have in a different way.
That's right.
So we can offer everyone more products because maybe you don't want a snowball. Maybe you're scared of it. Maybe you don't know what it is. Maybe you want ice cream this day.
Right.
Maybe you want an ice cream float. Maybe you want something that you've never heard of. We can do all those things now just by diversifying what we already have.
See, what you just explained gives me a depth into what Uplift is, right? As business owners, you can literally start a business tomorrow. LLCs are easy to start, right? You can do that for 2-3 years. It's a lifestyle business, is going. But for you to elevate from just a business to scaling, to becoming an actual, there's a difference between lifestyle and a business, right? Yeah. And it's just like every company we've seen in the past 10, 20 years, there are companies that used to be the number one companies, but because they refused to adapt and learn and grow, they were left behind.
Yeah.
And as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, if you refuse to adapt, learn, you will be left behind. It might not come in the next 3 years, but I assure you in the next 5, 10, you're not going to be there anymore.
Yeah.
So that's a component I think most businesses miss when it comes to growing, right? So let me ask you this, because I know being in the Virginia Beach area, what resources have you utilized for your business to help you grow? I know Uplift is one of those resources, but what other resources you use that you want to be able to plug and that kind of helped you?
That kind of helped me. A lot of the things are, honestly, everything's gonna come down to relationships.
Right.
right? I would have never heard of Uplift if a friend of mine did not go through the Uplift program, right? Or it would have came to me in an email from the city that I would have looked at and like, delete. I'm not trying to read that right now. You know what I mean?
Right.
However, because a person that I knew went through, oh, okay, let me look into it. And now I have an understanding of what I'm even signing up for.
Right. Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
A lot of the things, a lot of the resources that I've had or found came from other people telling me about them. So to me, I mean, the business jargon for it is human capital. Your human capital is very important.
Yes.
Your social capital is very important.
Yeah.
If you're good to people, people are good to you. They share information. What you do with the information is up to you after that.
This is true. I mean, I go by the philosophy, each one teach one.
Yeah.
Right. It's not what you know, it's who you know. Because it said, if you're not around the table, you are on the menu.
That's good.
And you want to be around the table.
Yeah, man.
And you want to be invited to the table.
Every time. And there's a good African proverb as well. It says, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go further, go together. That network is how we get where we're going.
Mm-hmm. So being in Virginia Beach, I know every city has its culture of how people will behave or how people, buy things. How do you succeed as a business owner in Virginia Beach? Like, how have you been able to do that? What's the maybe a little bit of a secret sauce of what is that culture like?
For us, it's customer service first, right? We make sure we take care of our people. Our location is a walk up. That means anyone that comes to our location is standing, waiting, just waiting. They're waiting patiently. I emphasize to the staff and to everyone that's come through, like, okay, imagine you stand outside in the heat. And when you get your turn, the person rushes you, they're rude, and then whatever you get is not good. My God, the backlash you're going to receive.
Right.
Whereas, okay, you take your time with this person. Now at least they feel like they're earning that wait. Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. You're taking your time with me. You're recommending things. You're making sure my order is right. You're making sure my change comes back properly.
That's right.
You're smiling. You're happy. That's making me happy because it's hard to be upset getting a snowball. It's a happy thing to do. This is what you do when you got a couple of extra dollars. What you do when you got a couple of extra minutes. It's what you do when it's a little bit too hot outside. You might want to get the kids out. It shouldn't be a stressful thing. It shouldn't be something that makes you upset. So if inside the shop we have a bad attitude, that's going to trickle outside.
Right.
Now, outside having a bad attitude and getting to the window, if you got 2 or 3 people smiling, trying to make sure you're good, you didn't get in line in a bad mood.
That's right.
And certainly you're looking at teenagers, you shouldn't be upset. And I'm not saying that we don't get some people that are upset, but we do what we can to make sure that they're in better spirits before they leave.
See, what you just said is a core principle for any service-based industry, right?
Yeah.
So I see social media as a huge billboard of come to my place. I see it as a stock market. Yeah. You go to the stock market, you see this something is going up. Okay, I should invest my money in that.
Yeah.
But the in-person service is a currency.
Yeah.
The best way to market your company is, have you tried that place? I was there yesterday. You got to go. And there's nothing better than that.
Yes, sir. It's grassroots marketing. That's one of the first things I learned in college. There's no better form of marketing than grassroots marketing, word of mouth. Someone saying, hey, this is good. Just what we just talked about, relationships, human capital.
Yes.
If you come across the Snowball Shop on your timeline, you might save it. You might put it in your favorites and like, I'm going to go there one day.
That's right.
However, if I'm looking, Zeke, you need to try this. All of a sudden, it's at the top of your list of things to do.
Yeah.
It's different. Both of them are great.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I know which one is going to travel further.
Yeah. And another thing too is core memories. Yeah. Right. And I think most service-based industry people forget this. If you become part of someone's core memory, that lives longer than whatever your name of the company is. Absolutely. Because they will always go back to the time and probably just come back because of what they had and experienced, right?
Exactly. And that's one of the things that we're able to track. So we see that a lot of our first timers with someone. Someone's bringing them along.
It's like church now.
Hey, you don't look at your neighbor. They don't look at their neighbor, say you need to try this snowball. We're gonna take you over there.
That's right.
And you get over there and you try that snowball, and it's a little bit different. It's like, oh, you won't lying. This is good.
This is good.
This isn't what I'm used to. This is not what I thought it was gonna be.
That's right.
And even when you look at our Instagram and the pictures that we have on social media, you can see that we're not serving the same exact thing.
That's right.
It's classic, but modern, and that's what I like.
Now I can't wait for the summer.
Yeah.
I cannot wait for the summer. So let's shift gears a little bit, right?
Yeah.
What are some core business principles that you think most business owners overlook? Because I know you talk to me about the first tax bill you got, the huge tax bill you got, right?
Yeah, man.
Talk to me about that I know most people overlook that.
When we first started out, we had a bookkeeper and not an accountant. That was a misstep. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It was a very expensive learning experience to realize that just because a person
I'm still paying my tax for my first business year till today, since paying it installmentally because again, I got a bookkeeper and not a tax man. But keep going. That's why I was like, let's talk about that.
and look, hey, talk about it, because what? The government don't care about that. They don't care nothing about it. And they putting that interest on.
Mm-hmm.
So you're gonna pay, and you're gonna pay a little bit more just because you didn't pay up front.
That's right.
And you know, that was one misstep that was taken. Core principles: take care of your people, right? I try to make sure that everyone that is at the shop feels heard, feels seen, while fitting into the system that we have and that we're developing. That's something that we're actually working with our interns right now on, developing a system that will trickle down and trickle down and trickle down and help us grow and scale at the same time. And then it also helps our interns understand what a system looks like. It gives them that sense of, in a year or two, oh no, I helped put that training manual together. I helped put that hiring flyer together. So everyone has a part in it.
That's right.
And like I said, you take care of your people, and I mean the people on the inside and the outside.
Right.
I like to make sure that, you know, when we get DMs on Instagram, and if something was perfect, cool. Look, let me throw you a free snowball. I'm gonna tell the staff, and if you can, leave us a good review on Google, right?
Right.
If someone DMs us on the social media and they're like, hey, this was wrong, this is what happened, okay, let us make it right. That's, you know, I'm not arguing with you about your experience. That's crazy to do. And as someone who does dine out and does shop at places, it's a surprise and it's a shock when people actually take care of you the first time without you having to argue. Like I'm telling you, this is not what I asked for, and you're telling me, oh well, no, that's not how that goes. No. Even sometimes, like, you know, we have someone that might say blueberry meaning blue raspberry. Oh, well, you said blueberry. Well, I meant blue raspberry. You know what? It takes you more time to argue. Make a new one, give it to them, and have a good day. Let's make it right. Let's take care of them, because they're going to come back. They're going to remember that, oh, okay, next time I come back, it's blue raspberry, instead of saying, I'm never going back. You know what I mean?
So I say this to myself as a kid, even if every other person I knew was bad to me.
Yeah.
Right? The ice cream man was always good to me. Regardless, any day, anytime, the ice cream man was always on point.
Yeah.
He knew what I wanted and he made sure I got it. Right? So that's what the principle is. You know, I never forget the ice cream man.
Yeah.
And the ice cream man I'm talking about was in church. Like that's the only reason I went to church back then. Mom, I'm sorry. But that's what was good to me. But I have a two-part question for you.
Yeah.
What is your why in what you do? And what is something you want to say to someone out there who is trying to figure it out, who doesn't know quite what to do, or it's not working out? So two-part question, why, and someone who's watching today. Yeah, I went from ice cream man to deep real quick.
Yeah, man, you threw me in the 10 feet.
I spin around real quick. You gotta follow me now. I go fast.
You a little bit, man. Oh man, my why you know, a lot of people want to say, "Oh, my wife, my kids, my what?" No, I was doing this before I had kids.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? My why is internally driven. It's not liking the idea of someone saying, "Hey, you got a doctor's appointment today. Good luck. You need to go you need to go to work." Like, no, bro, I need to go see the doctor. I want to live. You know what I mean? Or, oh, your kid has a soccer game. Oh, well. I remember there was a time when I was managing a store for a company, and it snowed, and I lived 45 minutes away from the store, and I drove a G37 coupe. Like, there's no way. I couldn't get out of my driveway, and my area manager was like, well, you need to figure it out. And I was like, no, I don't. You need to figure it out, because I'm not going to open the store. I can tell you that right now.
That's right.
Like, what I look like, my life in jeopardy because you want to start. No, you go open it.
That's right.
And I wouldn't ask my people to do that.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't put my staff in danger.
That's right.
If it starts hurricane, hey, before it gets busy, let me put it on social media. Y'all got 30 minutes, come get your snowballs. I'm sending my staff home for their safety.
Yes.
It's no dollar amount you put on the life. I could have spun out, drove them to the, you know what I mean, the Chesapeake Bay. But they wanted to start. No, I'm not doing that. It's crazy. And I wouldn't ask somebody to do that. That's insane.
Yeah.
And then the second part, what would I tell someone? I'd tell somebody, keep your job, okay, until you save up enough money and your business is making enough money to cover your expenses monthly, right? And the reason that I say that is a lot of people think you're going to jump off and the business is going to make you $1 million this month. It's not going to happen like that. And if it happens like that, it's because it cost you $999,999 to do it. Okay, there's this thing called gross profit and net profit you're going to need to understand very early on. All right, what the company makes and what you get are totally different, and you get yours at the end. Everybody else comes first. All right, your payroll, your bills, your loans, all that comes first, and then what's left over is yours. And I know there's a book that says pay yourself first, and you can try that if you want to, but if you pay yourself and your staff don't get paid, you're going to be doing a lot more work than you anticipated. So I would say definitely plan. You're never going to really be ready, but put yourself in the best position for the roller coaster ride you're about to jump on. Put yourself in the best position.
Man, I should have met you like 4 years ago when I was starting. That would have helped me. That would have helped my life.
Man, look, let me tell you something, man. I don't believe anybody that's ever been in a fight and never lost,
right,
that's ever started a business and never lost money. I have lost money.
This is true.
I done put money up that didn't come back. I done put money out I never saw again. If you don't have some kind of nest egg, like I tell you, do I have a plan B? But I got a plan C, D, E, F. I'm a serial entrepreneur because the fear of going back to working for somebody is bigger than the fear of working.
Say that one more time before you bring it back, because they need to hear that.
Yeah, you know, they say 7 streams of income. Sure. I don't care how many streams of income you got. But if anybody can cut your water off, your water can get cut off.
Mm-hmm.
It ain't that deep. If somebody can cut your water off, your water could get cut off.
I think this is making you preach today, Ryan. You're really preaching.
Look, I don't.
But you're speaking the truth, though. You're speaking the truth.
Because it scares me, man. I tell people all the time, it's not what you think. It's not what you think.
That's right.
It's nice. It's days when I don't do nothing. I sit I play the video game. I'm Call of Duty all day. But then there's days like today where I'm up at 4 o'clock and I'm not going to get home until, even when I get home, I got a 6:30 Zoom for a housing committee meeting.
Yeah.
And I still got 2 kids going to be looking at me like, Daddy, what we eating for dinner?
Right.
And then I still got to take a shower. I still got to take care of me at some point.
That's right.
So I got a 15-hour day today.
That's right. Wow.
It's ebbs and flows, peaks and valleys. You know what I'm saying?
So as we're going to the end of the show, Ryan, what's the future for you? Because I know you have multiple businesses. Also, you have the Snoball Shop. What's the future looking like? Where are you trying to go? Where are you trying to go with it?
The future's looking bright. It's always bright, man. One thing about it, I don't care what the trajectory is in the moment. My life is like the S&P 500. It's always going to go up.
Mm-hmm.
It might valley a little bit. It might dip. But after a while, once I hit that dip, I'm gonna go up. Now the next dip might happen, but it's gonna be better than this dip.
Mm-hmm.
And the way I look at it is, today is gonna be the worst day I'm gonna have. That's it. Today is gonna be the worst day I have. Today. Tomorrow was the worst day I've ever had. And guess what? It was a great day. Every day is gonna be better than the day before if I can help it.
That's right.
And I can.
That's right.
Now when them outside factors get in there, look, hey, I tell people quick, I'm going home. I'll stop working, I'll go home, I'll turn everything off, and I'll try again tomorrow. But like I said, today's gonna be the worst day that I have. Every day's gonna be better.
Hit the reset button, refresh, let's try it again.
Yeah, look, hey man, I do it on the game. When the game don't work, I turn it off, turn it back on. TV stop working, I turn it off, turn it back on. The day not working, I'm gonna turn it off, turn it back on, try again tomorrow.
So it works for everything. If it don't work, turn it back on.
Yeah, if that don't work, you gotta hit it. I can't hit life, so I gotta figure that out.
Yeah, man. Thank you, Ryan, for being on the show. For those who want to be able to go to the Snoball Shop this summer, how they get there, how they hit you up if they want to connect with you.
We're at 1401B Lynn Haven Parkway, Virginia Beach, Virginia 23453, located between Rosemont Road and Holland Road. You can follow us on social media at the Snoball Shop, TheSnoballShop. That's all social media. How you like that?
That was great. It's like you had a script, but we don't have a script for you. You get ready.
Yeah, you know what I learned in Uplift? To have a 15-second elevator pitch. There you go.
You need that.
Yeah.
Thank you, man. Thank you for coming on the show.
Hey, man, thanks for having me, brother.
Thank you for all you do in Virginia Beach. You are an inspiration. For those who are watching from home, thank you for tuning in today. It's been another Student Entrepreneur episode in partnership with the Uplift program, sponsored by the Virginia Beach SWAM office. If you are an entrepreneur in Virginia Beach and you're trying to scale, you're trying to grow, apply to the Uplift program. It's your boy Zeke Wanganga. It's sunny in Virginia Beach, so I'm going to see you guys in the next episode. Bye for now.
Down, it's muted. I had it doing myself. Damn, now it's all booming. Back and then, I got it booming. Stats going up, we all going dumb, not stupid. Trying to keep up with me, I told them all that it's foolish. I heard this song and I turned it right down.